Hello guys, welcome back to another Gamer's Vengeance review of Red Dead Redemption. Now, immediately I'm just going to jump into the gameplay mechanics. What we're about to see here is the duel mechanics. And the way how the duels work is basically like, it's a weird version of Deadeye that I'm not exactly sure how it works yet. All that I know is, you need to target a certain amount of targets on this. You need to paint a certain amount of targets on somebody's body before they can paint a certain amount on your body. That, or it's just who can get the best trigger finger. I'm not entirely sure. I always win. I haven't lost yet, but I'm sure one day I'll meet my match. And you can also loot the bodies after you've killed them. Now, if they challenge you to a duel, or if they're an outlaw, then when you kill them, you don't lose any honor. And honor is part of the karma system in this game. And it's a karma system I feel is kind of pointless and stupid. And there's also a choice of, I believe, 3 minigames. Like 3 gambling games, I mean. There's Liar's Dice, Poker, and Blackjack. Blackjack is rigged. You can't count cards on it. Liar's Dice is the one that most people are having fun with. I'm having a decent time with it. And Poker, the AI sucks. This is just a round of blackjack, and unless you have a good hand to write down what cards these people have, there's no way to count. But it's very easy to see your cards. And yes, this game is rigged. I'm not going to go into depth on why it's rigged or how I know it's rigged. Just believe me, it's rigged. Poker AI. Do I really need to talk about it? It can be so easily fooled. Watch. I'll play him for a fool in this game. Even though I do have some decent cards, a jack and a king, and especially when it comes over on the draw. Like, I believe it was a queen and a 10 that came over, and yep, queen and 10, and I think that's already a straight, small straight. And so, but anyway, I decided to just go pretty high, and of course, they just fold. There's also the taxi system, or I like to call it the taxi system. And it's just like how you saw. You just pick a city and go there. And also, random given times while you're going into a town, certain people will ask for help. It's up to you to choose to react to them or to not react to them. React to them and you'll get good karma. There's also executions, which are different whether you do it from the front or back, or with depending on which weapon you use. You can also be a bounty hunter, which is a really cool option. I remember in Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, there was an option to take a bounty, dead or alive. I'm glad to have the option to do it here, to do that in the game once again. Also, it just happens to be a sandbox game once again. Well, actually, Stranger's Wrath was more of an RPG than a sandbox, but whatever. The game has massive environments, which you're gonna have a great time, playing. And my only complaint about the bounties is that in the beginning, when you first start being able to go on missions to go get bounties, they're varied. It's not always the same guy, and I actually shot the guy who I took alive. He got on my nerves. But it doesn't seem that there's not a varied amount of bounty enemies. Because eventually it just becomes question mark faces, and it's always the same amount of money it wants. And that's the only complaint about that. And the game also has a lot of bugs. And it has quite a bit of bugs. For Rockstar, a team that searches for perfection, you'd think that there'd be no bugs, but there is. And I'm sure that before there was a lot more bugs, but they fixed it. So I'm not going to give them complete crap for it all. And then we have multiplayer, which is like another game on its own. And like I just did, I killed a and don't do what I just did, because I killed a member of a big posse, and I tried to kill the public enemy of the posse, but the posse killed me. And the only reason you kill a member of a big posse is if you have anger issues, or you're just insane. And then you can also select, like, playlists through a menu. I mean, games through a playlist, which by pressing the back button opens up a menu to choose them. Which is, pretty convenient when you're playing a bad game of free mode. And right now we're playing Capture the Flag, basically, in which there's a bag on each side. One team needs to capture it 3 times in a certain amount of time. Now here we had a full game, 16 players. It was awesome. It really felt like I was in a shootout from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It really did. Only I don't think there was a shootout that big, unless you're counting the Civil War scenes. And I'm glad that it can actually make us feel like we're in these shootouts, instead of most games where it just doesn't. There's a lot of good things about this game, and Rockstar definitely made the most epic Western game ever created. How could it be better? Well, probably with a film mode, assholes. I'm starting to get really mad at Rockstar. You know, they're putting way too much into the PC version that we console guys don't get. But before I start a war, let me just say, this game is amazing. The only problem with it is its bugs. So that's why it gets an easy 9.6. And I think we all know that's really high. That's how much I love the game. Anyway, subscribe!